Divorce in Black. Let's talk about it. Recently I saw that Rotten Tomatoes gave that movie like zero, a zero people. I don't know about you. I watched it. It started out with, if you hadn't watched it, please go watch it before you watch the rest of this video. Starting out, the movie starts out for me straight fire. Black funeral, the preacher. Normally, at a black funeral, for those who may be outside of our community, normally a black funeral does not go like that. The preacher is up preaching, delivering the word and everything, and then he starts throwing a little shade to the bereaved family. And so it's like, but he calling them out. He keeping it a hundred. And so the mom, this her son, she fell away. And so she like, hey, what you not gonna do is talk about my child like this little hand me down. But anybody else think, now you looking at her and you looking at the other mother, this one a hand me down because y'all two complete different sizes. So whatever she got for you, she had to go buy because it's one a hand me down. But needless to say, mom like, I don't need this hand me down. Proceeds to strip down to the slip people. Then tell her sons, hey, get them. And they thinking, okay, let us, pick up the casket. She's like, no, because they paid for that. So, baby, she say, take the body out the casket. And at this point, I'm like, what? I am shut the front door. So they take the body out the casket and exit, roll out. And wow. I just gotta stop right here. Corey Hardwick, Megan Good, they killed it in this movie. Excellent, excellent. Corey Hardwick, when I initially heard he was the star of the movie, I was thinking, oh, can he pull it off? That man killed it. Because, in that scene, to get his brother and, even with throughout the movie, he had me mad at him in like real life, because he nailed that role down. Completely down. And honestly, after the funeral, when we're, our tradition, for those who may not know, we have our repast. We generally have food, and it's just our time to be together. And this is when her friend throws a little joke in, a little humor in, and tells her, well, at least the funeral wasn't like your wedding day. And she's like, really? You really gonna go there? But in that moment, what I like about the friend throughout the movie, her friend caused her to think about reality. Like, real deal, the situation you're in, and made her, because sometimes we go through life and we experience things, but we really don't think about it. We really don't process what we went through, and because we didn't completely process it, we still over and over, we're repeating the cycle because we're not fully processing. And throughout this movie, that's what we saw with Megan Good's character. She, even when it got to the point to where she needed to put some folks in his life, she it's like, oh no, we don't need the restraining order, this, that, and the other. He'll snap out of it. She hadn't fully processed what she was dealing with. We're talking about a man who is so inconsiderate that even they're going out dinner with friends, so inconsiderate that he would leave her at home and not even have the decency to say, hey, I'm a head on out or anything. And she got ready. You notice how they did the close up of the clock? She was ready before she even said that she would be finished. She got dressed earlier than anticipated, and he didn't even have the common courtesy to wait on her. But that's the thing we saw throughout the movie, the disrespect, the belittling, with her job. Even when she came in, it's like, oh, I need to freshen up. Why? All you do is be at the bank and you sit and you, well, I'm still working, right? I'm still offering value, significance to the world. But every turn, she was always belittled, dismissed, treated less than. And even you notice when she was exiting out of that marriage, even when she met Benji, she'd tell him, like, hey, she's about to give her body to this man and tells him, well, it could only be sex, because I'm almost 40. But thankfully, Benji wasn't going. Benji, he saw what he had, what was in front of him, and he valued it. And this is just a really good reminder for us to love yourself, value yourself. No man, even, yeah, Benji was a good man, and that was great. And, husband, not so much. But your worth and value comes from within. It comes from within, and it comes from because God made us. And so he's the only man who can define our worth. And another thing that I really found, you guys give me your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear what you thought about Divorcing Black as well. But what was really interesting, when hubby got drunk and he told her, that his mom had him to take out his dad. And I'm like, what? And then the next morning when she wanted to talk about it, it was like, oh, I'm drunk, but just being dismissive. But that right there, like ding 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 ding, because we're talking about someone who needed some therapy, needed some real deal help. And she thought, like a lot of women think that, oh, I can love him through this. But a person has to want to change on their own. There is nothing anyone can do to make them change. It has to be something they want to do themselves, And it was obvious that the alcohol was one of his coping mechanisms to deal with all the trauma that was going on in his family, whether it was the unhealthy relationship between him and his mother, that codependency there, um, all the brothers just seeming to want to please their mom to on a level that isn't healthy. I think most of us, yes, we want our parents to be proud of us and want them to feel, like they've done a great job with us. But to the extent that you're just willing to do anything, even when it's to your own detriment, that's just unhealthy, you know. And then even her intruding, imposing on his marriage, just a little too much. And honestly, it was interesting to see the dynamics of relationships in the movie because you have Megan on one side growing up in a home with her parents, and because they had a loving relationship and she saw them stay out, through thick and thin and everything. She thought that's what marriage was about. But, her parents had a healthy relationship to where her parents, no one was being abused. And she was. So that just changes the whole conversation. And even as a parent, although you may show your child um, what a loving relationship marriage looks like, do you communicate like, hey, if you find yourself in a relationship that's not healthy, that's not whole, you need to leave, because that's what Megan Good character struggled with um, through a chunk of the movie, And so I felt the movie, I liked it. I know what Rotten Tomatoes was talking about. And I'm going to say this, especially for if you're watching this video and you're an entrepreneur, you're a CEO, what Tyler Perry has shown us now, you look at the Rotten Tomatoes. They gave that man a 0, and this movie has brought in the millions. Do you hear me? So, just because you're not someone's cup of tea doesn't mean that you're not others. Because he could have listened to that review and decided, oh, I'm not going to put this out. I need to tweak it. I need to. No. But he believed in himself, put it out, and it's doing what it's doing. So always a reminder, believe in you. Let me know what you like about the movie. I think for me, my favorite part, I definitely did like the funeral scene at the beginning. And I loved when I had the divorce party, the cake. Oh my goodness. 'Cause I was rolling. Those were two of my favorite scenes. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite part. As always, I'm wishing you love, health, and happiness. Until next time, stay blessed.